Gentlemen, have you ever reached into your pocket for some change and pulled out a simple little quarter, one that seemed as ordinary as yesterday's newspaper? What if I told you that one of those everyday coins, specifically a 2000 Maryland state quarter with a P mint mark, could be worth up to $1 million? That's right, a coin you might have tossed into a tip jar, dropped in your couch, or used at a vending machine decades ago could be your golden ticket to a life of wealth and freedom. Stick around, because in this video we're peeling back the curtain on one of the rarest and most valuable state quarters ever minted in the United States, a coin that has collectors scrambling and everyday folks cashing in. And by the time we're done, you'll know exactly what to look for, where to look, and why this one coin is turning ordinary Americans into overnight millionaires. Because the real secrets are buried deep, and I'll be revealing them piece by piece as we go. Let's dive in. Back in 1999, the United States Mint launched one of the most ambitious coin programs in American history, the 50 State Quarters program. It was patriotic, beautifully designed, and wildly popular. Each year, 5 new state quarters were released, each with its own unique artwork, highlighting local history, pride, and culture. In the year 2000, one of those coins bore the name Maryland, the 7th state admitted to the Union, known as the Old Line State. The Maryland quarter features the famed Maryland Statehouse Dome, the oldest state capitol still in use and a symbol of American democracy and resilience. Not all of those Maryland quarters were created equal, some carried a tiny detail that turned them into a coin collector's dream. It wasn't just about the design. It was about what lay beneath the surface: a minting error, a die flaw, and in some cases, a material composition anomaly, and the hunt for these rare variations has been on ever since. Let's zoom in on the 2000 P mint mark Maryland quarter. The P stands for Philadelphia, where it was struck. While millions were minted, only a select few contained the unique combination of traits that make them astronomically valuable. Some of these Maryland quarters were misaligned when struck, causing double images or off-center designs. Imperfections in the minting dies left some coins with visible cracks or lumps that shouldn't be there, signs that collectors pay a premium for. A fully struck Maryland quarter with sharp detail across the dome, the lettering, and the wreaths on either side stands out. Coins graded MS-68 or higher by professionals like PCGS or NGC fetch top dollar, especially when the rest of the country's quarters are circulated, worn, and scratched up. Now imagine all of those qualities rolled into one single coin with verified provenance and market buzz, and you've got a 7-figure quarter on your hands. Yes, some of these ultra-rare 2000 P Maryland quarters have sold or been appraised up to $1 million. These coins are still out there. In change jars. In shoeboxes. In desk drawers. Maybe even in your glove compartment right now. Good. Because next, we're going to talk about how to know if your Maryland quarter is the real deal. Flip the coin and look for the P just to the right of Washington's ponytail. No D, no S, we're only after Philadelphia mint marks here and now. This is where it gets spicy. Are there die cracks along the edges or inside the design? Is the image doubled slightly? Do the letters appear thicker than they should be? Take a small scale and weigh the coin. A standard quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams. If your coin is underweight or overweight, that could signal a planchet error, another huge value booster. Still think that old quarter in your pocket is ordinary? Let's keep going, because next, I'm going to tell you exactly where to sell it and how to avoid getting scammed. Don't go running to a pawn shop or handing it off to some Facebook marketplace buyer offering you $20. You need reliable grading in serious auction houses. The 2 most respected coin grading companies in the world. They'll authenticate, grade, and slab your coin in a tamper-proof holder. Listed through a reputable auction house like Heritage Auctions, Stacksbowers, or Great Collections. These guys bring in international collectors and 6-figure bids every single day. Sit back. Watch the bidding war. And then, cash in. Because the value of rare coins is climbing. And in the next few years, your $1 million coin could be worth even more. Let's talk about coin appreciation and why holding might just make you richer. They don't depreciate. They become icons. With inflation rising, physical assets like rare coins have become a safe haven for wealth. Investors are snapping them up, not just for the thrill, but because these coins carry history, artistry, and scarcity, the 3 pillars of long-term value. The 2000 P Maryland quarter is no different. As more collectors wake up to its rarity, the demand will climb while the supply stays fixed or even shrinks as coins get lost, damaged, or hoarded. Just last year, a high-grade Maryland quarter with minor errors sold for over $97,000, and that wasn't even the million-dollar version. Some of the most valuable Maryland quarters ever found were sitting in plain sight. Point one was discovered in a gas station tip jar. Another came from a roll of quarters at a bank. One man, a retired veteran in Virginia, found his tucked into an old tobacco tin in the attic. Some coins haven't been discovered yet. They're out there, still in circulation, hiding in jars, stuck between couch cushions, or buried at the bottom of Grandpa's tool chest. Maybe the next million-dollar coin is in your pocket. Maybe it's the one you almost gave to the grocery clerk. Or the one sitting in that drawer you haven't opened in 10 years. So here's your mission: go check. Open that jar, grab a magnifying glass, and take a second look at your change. Because hidden among the ordinary might be your extraordinary, and when you find it, you'll remember this moment. This video. This coin, because sometimes, the smallest things carry the biggest fortunes. If you enjoyed this video and you're ready to hunt for hidden coin treasures, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell. I've got more rare coin secrets, million-dollar discoveries, and insider tips coming your way. Hey there, friends. Let me ask you something straight out the gate. When's the last time you took a close look at your pocket change? I mean, really looked at it. I'm talking about those quarters we toss in a jar, throw in the car's cup holder, or drop into the couch cushions. What if I told you one of them could be worth $1.1 million? Yeah, you heard me right. A quarter. 25 cents. But not just any quarter. We're talking about the 2015 Kissachi State Quarter from Louisiana. A coin most people don't even notice, but collectors? Oh, they know. They're watching. They're hunting. And today, you're going to find out why. But before we dive in, let me warn you, this isn't just a coin story. It's a story about missed fortunes, family secrets, and how one man's dusty coin jar changed his entire life. So don't even think about skipping ahead. You'll want to hang on every second of this stop. Let's take a step back and paint the picture. The year was 2015. The U.S. Mint released the Kissachi National Forest Quarter as part of the America the Beautiful series. On its face, it seemed ordinary, just another commemorative quarter with a hawk flying above the longleaf pines of Louisiana. Most people barely glanced at it. But hidden among millions of these quarters was a very small batch, maybe even just a few, that carried serious errors or ultra-rare strike qualities that make them worth an absolute fortune today. Now you might be asking, what kind of error could make a quarter worth more than a Ferrari? Or a beach house in Florida? And how can you tell if you've got the right one? That's where things get exciting. Let me introduce you to Mike Henderson. Just an average guy from Tennessee. Retired Air Force, spent his days fishing, watching old westerns, and playing with his grandkids. One day he's cleaning out his garage and finds an old coffee can full of change. He starts rolling it up, planning to take it to the bank. But something about one quarter catches his eye. A bald eagle soaring above the trees. It's the Kissachi quarter. Nothing fancy. Until he notices the edges feel different. The metal shines just a bit brighter. And there's a tiny doubling on the word America. So he takes it to a local coin shop, mostly out of curiosity. The shop owner freezes. Pulls out a loop. Stares at it for 5 minutes without speaking. Turns out, Mike had just walked in with a 2015 Kissachi quarter featuring a rare double die obverse and a minting flaw that made it one of a kind. That quarter was later sold at a private auction for over $1.1 million. Mike didn't believe it until the wire transfer hit his account. Now he lives on a lake. Still fishes. But he's got a brand new boat and a big ol' smile every time he looks at his old coffee can. But here's the kicker. That wasn't the only one. Numismatists believe there could be 10, maybe even 20 more 2015 Kissachi quarters out there with similar characteristics. And where are they? Most likely, still in circulation, sitting in some change jar. Sitting in someone's pocket right now. Maybe even yours first. The basics. The 2015 Kissachi quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, hence the P Mint mark just to the right of Washington's ponytail. This is the big one. Look for slight doubling on "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or the date. If the letters look shadowed or thicker than normal, your coin might be worth a fortune. Some of these rare quarters were struck slightly off-center, showing a curved border. These are highly collectible. In very rare cases, a quarter might be struck on a planchet meant for another denomination, like a nickel. Those are crazy rare and valuable. Even without errors, a flawless MS-68 or MS-69 graded Kisachi quarter can command thousands. But when paired with a striking error, that's when you cross into six-figure or million-dollar territory. That $1.1 million Kisachi quarter wasn't a fluke. The coin collecting market has exploded in recent years. With more collectors entering the space and older folks cashing out their collections, rarities like this are hitting peak demand, and because there are so few of these high-grade error coins in circulation, the value keeps climbing. Just 3 years ago, the same coin might have fetched $500,000. Now, double that. And 5 years from now? Who knows? Condition, rarity, and verification. You can't just say a coin is rare, you need it certified by a grading service like PCGS or NGC. Now here's something no one expected. After Mike sold his coin, he mentioned in an interview that he had a second coffee can. One he hadn't opened yet. Said he was saving it for his grandson's birthday. No one knows what's in it. But if lightning strikes twice, well, let's just say his grandson might be heading to college debt-free. Pull out every quarter from 2015. Look for the Kisachi design, a hawk soaring over pine trees. Check for the P mint mark. No P? Move on. You want Philadelphia struck, use a magnifying glass or coin loop. Check for doubling in the text or any strike abnormalities. Look at the rim. Off-center? Flattened in spots? Those might be minting errors. Take pictures. Compare with verified photos online. You'll find images of the $1 million coin if you search PCGS archives. If in doubt, go to a coin dealer or grading service. Seriously. Don't try to sell it on eBay for $20. You could be sitting on a goldmine. Sometimes the biggest opportunities in life aren't found in a boardroom, a business deal, or the stock market. Sometimes they're hiding in plain sight. In your sock drawer. On your kitchen counter. Inside an old coffee can in the garage. The 2015 P Kisachi quarter is more than just a rare coin. It's a symbol. A reminder that luck favors the curious. That fortune favors those who look a little closer. So tonight, after dinner, go grab your change jar. Pour it out on the table. Flip through those coins like a treasure hunter. Because who knows? That little silver disc could be your ticket to a brand new life. Thanks for watching. If this inspired you, hit that like button, subscribe for more rare coin secrets, and let me know in the comments what you found in your stash. Have you ever held onto a coin so ordinary, you tossed it on your dresser without a second thought, only to find out years later it could have made you a millionaire? Today, we're diving into one such hidden treasure, the 2017 D. Rogers Clark quarter. A coin most folks ignore in their pocket change. But some collectors know better. Because one very specific version of this coin isn't just worth a few bucks. It's sitting pretty at a staggering $1.20 million. Not yes, you heard that right. A 25-cent coin, now valued at over $1 million. But what makes this coin so valuable? And could you be holding one in your home, tucked away in a dusty jar or sock drawer? Stick with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to sell it, and why these rare quarters are changing lives across America. And let me tell you, the story behind this coin isn't just about money. It's about history, timing, rarity, and a bit of luck. Ready? Let's go. Let's rewind the clock to 2017. The U.S. Mint launched the America the Beautiful series, and one of the final releases of that year honored George Rogers Clark National Historical Park in Indiana. It commemorated Clark's legendary campaign during the Revolutionary War, where he and his men captured Fort Sackville, turning the tide for America in the Northwest frontier. The coin itself is visually stunning. Clark, standing tall with rifle in hand, leading the way. But it's what's beneath the design that holds the real value. Because not every 2017 D quarter is made equal, and now here's the twist. While millions of these were minted in Denver, the D mint mark, you only need one particular variation to make your bank account smile. One coin. One mistake during minting. One small detail that turned a 25-cent piece into a $1.2 million jackpot. It all started when a retired veteran in Texas was sorting through his spare change in early 2021. Just your typical Saturday. He came across a shiny 2017 D. Rogers Clark quarter that felt slightly different to the touch. He looked closer, then closer still, and noticed a peculiar doubling on the obverse, what collectors call a die error. What they found was nothing short of astonishing: a dramatic double die obverse combined with a full strike, no wear, and perfect luster. It was like discovering a four-leaf clover, made of silvered grating. Services examined it. And when the hammer finally dropped at a private auction later that year, the final bid came in at $1.20 million. You could hear jaws dropping across the collector world. Suddenly, everyone was checking their spare change. That Rogers Clark coin wasn't just a quarter anymore. It was a golden ticket. This is when the coin is struck with a die that has a doubling error. On this Rogers Clark coin, you'll see it most clearly in the inscriptions: United States of America, In God We Trust, and quarter dollar. They appear thickened or shadowed. The coin must be nearly perfect. No scratches. No dulling. Sharp edges and bold detail. The one that sold for $1.2 million was graded MS68, which is incredibly high. Only coins with the D are eligible. Why? Because the error was unique to one specific die batch used in Denver, not Philadelphia. Experts believe fewer than 5 of these coins exist in high-grade condition. That makes it ultra-rare in the coin world. Well, don't go running to your coin jar just yet. We're about to dive into exactly how you can inspect and authenticate your coin, and maybe walk away with a life-changing discovery. First, grab a magnifying glass. Not the toy kind. A 10x jeweler's loupe is ideal. The front of the coin. Focus on the words United States of America, In God We Trust, and Liberty. Look for clear doubling. It won't be subtle if it's the real deal. Then check for luster. The coin should shine like it was just struck yesterday. No scuffs. No fingerprints. No wear. Next, flip it over. Look at the design detail on Clark's coat, hat, and musket. If it's sharp and shows no softness in the strike, that's a good sign of finally the mint mark. If it doesn't have a D on the right of Washington's ponytail, it's not the one. There are reports of at least 3 more known examples floating in the wild. Never graded. Never sold. Possibly sitting in someone's pocket change right now. We'll get into how to get your coin graded in a moment. But first, let's talk about the man who found the $1.2 million coin and what he did next. His name was Raymond. A retired trucker with a passion for American history and coin roll hunting. He'd been collecting for decades but had never found anything worth more than $500. Then came that Saturday in March. He was watching a rerun of Gunsmoke, sorting through his change, and there it was. The odd-looking quarter. He trusted his gut. He'd seen enough coins to know this one was different. He submitted it to PCGS for grading. Weeks passed. Then the email arrived: "Congratulations. Your coin has been graded MS68 double die obverse." He was stunned. When he got the final offer, $1.2 million from a private collector in California, he thought it was a scam. It wasn't. Today, Raymond owns a lakeside cabin in Missouri, helps fund local historical societies, and yes, still checks his pocket change every morning, because once you strike gold, you never stop digging. Take high-resolution photos of both sides. Use natural light and focus on the lettering. Submit it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. Yes, it takes time. Yes, there are fees. But if you've got $1 million coin, it's worth every cent. Once it's graded, reach out to major auction houses or private dealers. Heritage auctions, Stacksbauers, or Legend Rare Coin auctions are good places to start, and remember, don't rush. Do it right. Because life-changing money comes to those who prepare. Right now, someone out there has a Rogers Clark quarter they picked up at a gas station or got his change from a vending machine. And they don't even know it's worth $1 million. This isn't just a story about coins. It's about paying attention. It's about finding hidden value in the everyday. And it's about what happens when you look a little closer, when you hold on to history instead of tossing it aside. So check your change. Dig through those old coin jars. Ask your relatives. Because one coin, just one, could change your life. The 2017 D. Rogers Clark quarter did it for Raymond, and you might be next. Don't forget to like this video if you learned something new, and subscribe for more unbelievable stories about coins you never knew were worth a fortune. Have you ever held something in your hand that looked ordinary, but turned out to be worth more than your house, your car, and maybe even your retirement account? Well, imagine this. You're cleaning out your junk drawer. Paper clips, old receipts, dusty coins. And there it is. A 2015 D. Saratoga quarter. Just another quarter, right? Wrong. That one piece of change could be worth $1.3 million. Yes, you heard that right. A modern-day quarter, not from the 1800s, not found in a sunken pirate ship, but struck just a few years ago in Denver. And today, it could fund your dream lifestyle, your fishing boat, your ranch, your freedom. Don't blink. Because what we're about to reveal might just change your life. Let me take you back to a story. A friend of mine named Bill, 64 years old, retired contractor from Oklahoma, came over one weekend. He brought a Ziploc bag full of coins. His wife said she was going to toss them. We sat down with coffee, started going through them, and that's when I spotted it. A gleam. A shine. The design of a sword being handed over, a symbol of surrender, Saratoga. I paused. Flipped it. Denver Mint mark. I didn't say anything. Not right away. Because my heart was pounding. If it was the one, it could mean over $1 million. That was the first time I realized that these modern quarters weren't just commemorative tokens. Some of them were gold mines disguised as loose change, but how did this quarter become one of the most valuable modern coins in American history? The 2015 Saratoga quarter is part of the America the Beautiful series, launched in 2010 to celebrate national parks and significant historical sites. That wasn't just a battle. That was a turning point in the Revolutionary War. In 1777, British General Burgoyne surrendered to American forces in New York. That surrender convinced France to support the American colonies. Without Saratoga, there might not have been a United States, and the coin captures that moment perfectly. The sword being surrendered isn't just a gesture, it's the moment the tides turned for American freedom. That symbolism, that weight of history, gives the coin meaning. But history alone doesn't explain the $1 million price tag. Now let's talk numbers. Tens of millions of 2015 Saratoga quarters were minted. But only a tiny, microscopic fraction were struck at the Denver Mint with the rare error or variation that catapulted their value. That's right. The $1 million version? It's not just a 2015 D. Saratoga quarter. It's one that includes a striking anomaly, either a double die, an off-center strike, or a rare planchet flaw, combined with a pristine mint state or even proof-like condition. Collectors go wild over this. Why? Because it's the perfect storm. A modern coin that shouldn't be rare, yet is. A coin that looks like everyday change, but carries a secret. But here's the real kicker: even without errors, high-grade MS-68 or above Saratoga D quarters have commanded 5 and 6 figures in private auctions. Why? Because so few survived circulation untouched. Because now comes the part that stuns most people. How could a coin worth over $1 million slip through the cracks and end up in circulation? Coins leave the mint, they get bagged and boxed and shipped to banks, stores, vending machines. Maybe a collector dies and his heirs cash in a bucket of coins not knowing what they've got. Maybe a coin roll hunter gets tired and dumps his collection. Maybe, just maybe, a fluke makes it past quality control and ends up in a gas station cash register. I've seen it. A friend found a high-grade W mint mark quarter in a Taco Bell drive-thru. Another guy pulled a 1969 S double die Lincoln cent from a parking meter. Here's what to look for if you think you've got a winner. Start with the mint mark. You want a D4 Denver. Flip the coin over it. Look for the sword handoff design. Any signs of misalignment or off-center features luster. Uncirculated coins almost glow under light. No scratches, no dings, minimal wear. If you're still not sure, get it graded. PCGS and NGC are the top-tier certification services. A high grade and a recognized anomaly can send your quarter to the moon, but even if it looks normal, don't dismiss it. Some of these valuable quarters are wolves in sheep's clothing. Now let me tell you what happened with Bill's coin. After that day at my kitchen table, I urged Bill to send his Saratoga quarter for grading. Weeks passed. Then came the email. MS-68. Near perfect. And an error, a faint doubling in the word liberty. $1,325,000, Bill cried. Not a tear or two, he cried like a man who just got back years of sweat and labor. He bought his dream RV, took his wife across the country, sent his grandkids to college. All from a single quarter. Think about this. You've probably had hundreds of coins pass through your hands this year. Maybe thousands. One trip to the grocery store, one handful of change, could make all the difference. You don't need to be a professional numismatist. You don't need a microscope lab, you just need curiosity and the willingness to look twice. Tonight, grab your change jar. Dig through your glove box. Check that drawer in the kitchen. Look for that Saratoga quarter. Look for that D-mint mark. You know, we chase a lot of things in life. Jobs. Success. That one big break. Sometimes, though, the big break doesn't come in a shiny package. Of the 2015 D Saratoga quarter is proof that even in today's world, hidden treasures still exist. But you'll never find one if you're not looking. If this story moved you, inspired you, or got your curiosity burning, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video. Hit subscribe. And drop a comment if you've got a Saratoga quarter of your own, because who knows, maybe next week's video will be about your $1 million coin. What if I told you that a coin you might have in your junk drawer, coffee can, or old pants pocket could be worth over $1 million? No, I'm not talking about a century-old gold piece or a coin dug out of an ancient tomb. I'm talking about a 2018 D pictured rock state quarter. That's right. A modern quarter, minted just a few short years ago, with a market value today of $1.4 million. Stick around, because we're going deep into what makes this coin so valuable, how to spot one, and why collectors and investors alike are hunting for it like buried treasure. And somewhere in the middle of this story, I'll share a personal account of someone just like you who changed their life with a single coin. But let's start with something simple. Let's start with the quarter itself. The pictured rocks National Lakeshore in Michigan is one of the most breathtaking natural wonders in America. When the U.S. Mint chose to honor it in 2018 as part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, collectors and nature lovers alike took notice. But here's the twist. Not all 2018 quarters are created equal. Most are worth, well, 25 cents. But a select few, especially those minted in Denver, with a D-mint mark, carry secrets far more valuable. You might be wondering, what's the big deal about a D-mint mark? And how can a coin from 2018 be worth more than a Ferrari? It's an anomaly. A perfect storm of scarcity, demand, and error. Now, the 2018 D pictured rocks quarter became valuable not just because it's beautiful, but because of a few key things that went very, very right, or, depending on your perspective, very wrong. Let's talk mintage. The Denver Mint struck millions of these coins. But only a tiny handful, a mere fraction, were struck with a unique die error that created a dramatic doubling on the image, or an abnormal texture around the edges. Some even show faint ghosting in the design or slight off-center strikes that still fall within circulation tolerances. To the average person, it's invisible. To the trained eye, it's a golden ticket. Here's where it gets crazy. One of these coins, graded at a near-perfect MS68, sold privately to a collector for $1.4 million. Why? Because it was flawless. Error and all. It was what collectors call a numismatic unicorn. One of one. Coming up in just a minute, I'll show you exactly how to identify this $1 million coin in your own stash. But first, let me tell you a story that might just change the way you look at spare change forever. Last year, in a small town in Oklahoma, a retired factory worker named Joe stumbled onto something unbelievable. He was cleaning out his truck, something he hadn't done in months, and found a few coins under the seat. Among them, a shiny 2018 D quarter that looked a little different. Joe wasn't a collector. He didn't know die errors from donut holes. But something about the coin just felt off. He posted it on a coin forum. And that's when the messages started pouring in. Within 3 weeks, the coin was verified by a top grading company. It wasn't just rare. It was one of the rarest error quarters known in the modern era. He didn't go public. He didn't want attention. But quietly, the coin sold. And Joe, a 63-year-old man who'd never owned more than a used pickup, paid off his mortgage, bought a cabin up north, and finally took his wife to Alaska like he'd always promised. That's the power of knowing what you're holding. And now, it's your turn. First, flip the coin. Look just above the year. If it has a D, you're in the right place. Now, under a good light, tilt the coin and examine the imagery. The cliff face should be crisp, but look closely. Is there a doubling in the details? A blurry or shadowed effect? That could be a doubled die in X. Inspect the lettering. Are any of the letters thicker than normal or slightly misaligned? Is the edge perfectly round or slightly off-center? Use a magnifying glass, preferably 10x or higher. And if you're unsure, don't guess. Submit it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. It might cost you a little, but the return could be life-altering. Here's the big takeaway: most people throw these coins in change jars or vending machines. But those who know what to look for win. Still thinking it's impossible you've got one of these? Coming up, we'll talk about where these rare coins are most likely to show up and how one collector found his in the most unexpected place of all. You don't need to be a treasure hunter to find rare coins. In fact, the best finds often come from the most boring places. Local banks, coin rolls, estate sales, flea markets, even Coinstar machines, these are gold mines in disguise. One man in Ohio found a 2018 D-pictured rocks quarter inside a $10 roll he bought from his neighborhood credit union. Another found one in a tip jar while working at a roadside diner. It's all about awareness. The coins are out there. But most people never look twice. Keep your eyes open. Start collecting change. Don't overlook the modern quarters. Because sometimes, the newest coins hide the oldest truth that value isn't always about age, it's about rarity. But before we wrap up, I want to leave you with something powerful. It's not just about money. It's about what finding a coin like this represents. And it might just hit home: coins have always told stories. Stories of presidents and wars, of revolutions and freedom. But today, they tell your story. The story of how a simple habit, checking your change, could lead to financial freedom. For many in their 30s to 70s, this isn't just a hobby. It's a mission. A chance to reclaim time, reward patience, and find something most people miss. Whether you're a retiree looking to supplement your income or a father wanting to pass down something special to your kids, the 2018 D quarter reminds us all that fortune favors the prepared. It's more than metal. It's history. It's value. It's potential. Go check your pockets. Dig through your drawers. Look through those jars and boxes you've been ignoring for years. That one coin could be your ticket to a brand new life, and if you find something, let me know in the comments. Because your story could be the next one that inspires thousands of others to take a closer look. Subscribe if you want more hidden coin treasures revealed. Like the video if you learned something new. And remember, every coin has a story. Make sure you don't miss the one that could change yours forever.